Hi friends, Miss Kaylee here, and I hope you enjoyed the first week of our new curriculum, the Gospel Project. And remember, we were talking about Joshua 1 and how in Joshua 1, God chose Joshua to lead the Israelites into the promised land. And God was such a big encouragement to him. He said that he would be with him always. And today we're going to continue talking about Joshua's journey and the Israelites' journey into the promised land. So we're going to be in Joshua 3 through 4. And remember, Joshua is in the Old Testament, and this was before Jesus came to earth. And so the Israelites are this close to the promised land. All they have to do is cross the Jordan River. And so at the front of the Israelites is the priests carrying the Ark of God. And the Ark of God is a reminder to the Israelites that God is with them. So this is very important to them. And they get to the Jordan River, and the Jordan River is very far and very deep. So you can imagine they're probably thinking, I don't know how this is possible, right? Well, nothing's impossible with God, and God performs an amazing miracle. So right as the priests step foot into the river stops. And the Israelites cross on dry land. They cross the entire Jordan River on dry land. Amazing. And so God tells Joshua, choose 12 men to pick 12 stones so you can create a memorial of what happened today. And a memorial is a reminder. God wants to remind the Israelites and the generations of people to come what God had done that day. And what I love about this story, this very true story, is that God shows his power to the people. He promised them, I will be with you. And he showed them just that he was with them. And that's a lot like what Jesus did on earth for us. Jesus came to earth, showed people his power so that they could trust him and that they could be saved from their sin, just like how we can be saved from our sin. It's amazing. And I can't wait for you guys to learn so much more about that today. Enjoy.
Hey everyone, it's me, Megan, and I'm Jessie. Jessie, where are your shoes and why are your pants rolled up?
Oh, sorry. My dad and I just got back from walking around in a stream and I forgot to put my shoes back on.
Oh, okay. Well, walking in a stream sounds really fun.
It was. I loved getting my feet in the cold water and looking for cool rocks.
Did you find some cool rocks?
Yeah, I'll show you after we hear about the Bible story.
That sounds great. Actually, in today's Bible story, God's people walked across a river and they collected 12 rocks from the middle. Let me tell you the story. Joshua had led the Israelites to the edge of the Jordan River. On the other side was Canaan, the land God had promised to give to Abraham's descendants. The only thing keeping the Israelites from the promised land was the Jordan River. They had to get across the deep, wide river. Joshua told all the people to get ready. God gave Joshua and the other leaders special instructions. God was going to help them cross the river. First, the priests carried the Ark of God to the edge of the river. The Ark reminded the people that God was with them. Joshua said, listen, God is going to do something great. When these men carry the Ark of God into the river, God will stop the water in the river. All the people watched. When the priests took a step into the river, God made the water stop. Then all of the Israelites crossed the river safely on dry ground. God told Joshua, tell 12 men to pick up 12 big stones from the middle of the river. They should put them down where you spend the night tonight. God had a plan for the stones. He wanted them to be a memorial. A memorial is something that helps people remember an event that happened. The people would see the stones and remember that God helped them cross the river. In the future, when children saw the stones and said, "What are these stones?" the people could tell their children what their mighty God had done. The Israelites did exactly what God told them to do. Finally, the priests with the ark crossed the river and the water began to flow again. The river was wide and deep like it was before. At last, God's people were in the promised land. God was with Joshua and the Israelites as they went into the promised land. He showed his power to them so they would trust in him. When Jesus came to earth, he showed his power so people would trust in him and be saved from sin.
God had promised that Abraham's descendants would live in Canaan. He would give them the land. After wandering in the wilderness for 40 years, it was time for the remaining Israelites to enter the promised land. Now the only thing keeping the Israelites from their new home was the Jordan River. The river was deep and wide. The Israelites could never get across on their own, but God was going to help them. God told Joshua and the other leaders what to do. First, the priests carried the ark of God ahead to the edge of the river. The ark reminded the people that God was with them. The rest of the Israelites followed behind the ark. Joshua said, "Listen, God is going to do something great. When these men carry the ark of God into the river, God will stop the water in the river. Then you will know God is with us." The people watched as the priests carrying the ark took a step into the river. God made the water stop. The priests stood on dry ground in the middle of the river. And then all of the Israelites crossed safely on dry ground. God told Joshua, "Choose 12 men to take 12 stones from the middle of the river where the priests are standing. They should put them down in the place where you spend the night tonight." God wanted the stones to be a memorial. A memorial is something that helps people remember a person or event. That people would see the stones and remember that God helped them cross the river. In the future, when children saw the stones and said, "Why are these rocks here?" the people could tell their children that God stopped the water. And everyone would know that God is mighty. The Israelites did exactly what God told them to do. They picked up 12 big stones to make a memorial. Finally, the priests with the ark crossed the river, and the water began to flow again. The river was deep and wide, like it had been before. At last, God's people were in the promised land. God went ahead of Joshua and the Israelites into the promised land. He showed his power to them so that they would trust in him. When Jesus came to earth, he showed his power so people would trust in him and be saved from sin.